What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. Happy Friday to all of y'all. Hope y'all are having a great day. Hope everything's going smooth for you, man. And, guys, we are going to get into today's docket. It is the Friday before the Atlanta Falcons this weekend, so we got to talk about a couple things. First thing we have to talk about is the injury report that is coming up. So this is from yesterday's practice, and this is our injury report going into the game. And right now, yesterday, luckily enough, like Derek Brown, Bryson Tremaine, and Chandler Zavala, they were all full participants, were able to do a full practice. Rico Dowdle, he had a limited practice due to that lingering quad injury. And then Lathan Ransom and Trevin Wallace obviously did not practice due to their injuries. Lathan Ransom in his hand, and then Trevin Wallace, his shoulder, who's already been ruled out this week as well. And the crazy thing is, as I'm looking on the flip side, I looked at Atlanta's injury report from their practice yesterday, and they have quite a few dinged up players. So, for example, they're only on their injury report, their only full participant and was Laquel London. Because on limited participation for limited practice, you had D. Alford, Mike Hughes, Malik Verdon, Jake Matthews, Drake London, Jamal Agnew, and Brandon Dorless. They were all limited. And then do not practice, you had Josh Woods, Liam McCullough, Leonard Floyd, Chris Lindstrom, Matthew Bergeron, and Sam Roberts. Also, Zach Harrison was limited in practice as well. So when you look at it in comparison, man, truthfully, in comparison, we are not as dinged up as the Atlanta Falcons, which is a blessing in my eyes. And I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to take whatever we can and do what we got to do. That doesn't mean necessarily that all these players are not going to play on Sunday. If all these players did not play on Sunday, that'd be a whole different story. But it just goes to show that we have been injured, but we are getting players back from injury, I think at a quicker rate, or at least our injuries are not as significant, which I bode well as a positive. So just something to be on the lookout for, especially for stars like Drake London, and then you got D. Alford there. You got Jamal Agnew who's going to be there. Like, these are things you're going to have to look at, man. These are things that Avero's going to have to take into account. Canales has got to take into account when building and preparing the play calling. But you know their stars are still going to be their stars. Listen, Drake London, even at 80%, is still deadly. 75% Drake London is still deadly. So we can't sit there and take Drake London lightly because he is limited in practice both Wednesday and Thursday. The same way they can't take Rico Dowdle lightly from us, even though he's been limited in practice. You get what I'm saying? So those are just some injuries to look out for. And when we get on Sunday, just be on the watch. If some people get listed as doubtful, questionable over the weekend, or at least today, you'll know what's up. And at least you have your ears perked on as to why that is. Next, going to move on to one of our defensive rookies who has already been making an impact, and that is one Nick Scorton, man. Nick has been a force to reckon with. He seems to be getting better and better each week. And I've liked the pick of Scorton. I sat there and looked at him. I'm like, you know what? He has turned out to be a really good pick, and I hope it continues. And even Coach Avero thinks so as well, because he's speaking on Scorton's impact and his work ethic. And this is what Avero had to say. He says, this guy, he's unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever seen a player, especially at such a young age, play so hard. I mean, every practice rep, every game rep, he is running and running and running, jumping on the ball, doing all the little things. I mean, since the day he walked in here, phenomenal work habits, great in the classroom. He sat next to Pat Jones from day one, just trying to absorb as much as he could from him. He's very coachable, and he's very smart. This is not even hyperbole, but it's every time he's on the field. I mean, he only knows one way to go, and it's hard, and it is as fast as he can every time. And so that's his play style. And truthfully, I love hearing that from a coach. I also know I've heard that from other players. Praise Scorton's work ethic and the way he plays the game, and that's what you need from a defensive player like that, especially off that edge when your main job is to disrupt and cause havoc in the backfield, whether you're trying to stop the running back from getting going or stopping the quarterback, getting him flustered, do what you got to do, blowing up plays left and right. That's what you need from a defensive guy like that, and that's what Dan Morgan and the team were looking for when they picked Scourton. And honestly, barring injury, I think Omamiela is going to be able to do that as well. As long as he's able to overcome some of the dings he's been getting injury-wise, I think those two in the future could be a great combo pass rush that is going to wreak havoc for teams. This is their rookie year, so we're going through the growing pains. We're going through the learning curve. They're learning new moves and new things and techniques that they probably weren't taught at the collegiate level. But that's what comes with it. And if he's already making an impact now, seems like the draft pick's already paying dividends, am I right? So I love that for Nick. I'm glad he's showcasing his talents, and I just hope it continues to go further and further and further into the season as we get along. Next, it is time for another Would You Rather Panthers edition, man. And this week I made sure it was a Would You Rather where one of the options has not already occurred. So y'all can't get on me this week. But today's Would You Rather Panthers edition, I think this is going to be a real good one for y'all because I want to see what y'all think. The Would You Rather is this. Which offense would you rather have paired with our current defense? The 2015 offense or the 2003 offense? Which offense would you rather pair right now with our current defense? 2015, led by Cam Newton, or 2003, led by Steve Smith and Jake Delhomme? Personally, I think I would go with the 03 offense just because they have more weapons in skill positions. You have Jake Delhomme, who is a solid quarterback, and I think Steve Smith, Musa Muhammad, you have Stephen Davis in the running back core. I think that offense would do a lot better. Not a lot better. I think that offense would pair better with this defense. Cam Newton is great, and Cam Newton is phenomenal. Cam Newton's best weapon in 2015, offensively, respectfully, was Greg Olsen. Granted, Ted Ginn was great. Devin Funchess was good. Curtis Samuel was good, but y'all sit there and say we haven't had receivers, so it was Cam Newton doing what he could, and then Jonathan Stewart was obviously great in the running game. Him, Tolbert, and them boys. The running game was great. But I think a more balanced offense, like the 2003 offense, would be better. But Cam Newton being who he was and having the offense move the way they did, you can't knock that either. You can't knock that either. He was Superman for a reason, and there was a reason why we made it to the Super Bowl with Cam Newton in 2015, the same reason why we made it to the Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme, Steve Smith, and them in 03. So, I don't know, man. I'm choosing 03. Y'all let me know what y'all would choose. I could see if people choose 2015, but I thought this was a real good one. So, again, the question is, which offense would you pair with our current defense? The 2015 offense or the 2003 offense? Food, something to think about. I think a good discussion table, if you got some friends in the Panthers group, ask them, see what they think about it. And then next, let us get into the Panther freeze frame of the day. And I love this photo right here. Deshaun Watson looking at Derek Brown, like the face he has is the face where it's Thanksgiving dinner and your mama or your grandma comes up to you and tells you they gave away the plate that you had stashed away behind like the microwave or in the cabinet, and you were just in disbelief like, I know you didn't just give away my second to-go plate. Who gave you the permission? Like, that's the look that I'm getting from here. Or you looking at your homeboy because he told you, yeah, bro, so you know how I told you I wasn't messing with old girl anymore, right? Yeah, because she slapped you and she cheated on you with dude down the street. Yeah, I'm taking her back. Bro, what? I know. Like that. That's the look that gives me, bro. Like, that's exactly what his face is telling me. So I thought this photo was hilarious. Y'all tell me what you think he's saying. Tell me what you think's going through his head, because this is hilarious to me, and I absolutely love it. But now it is time for y'all favorite segment. It is time. Hold up. It is time for Panther Nation to speak their truth, and that is where I read y'all comments and hear what y'all have to say down in the comment section from the previous video, man. Love hearing what some of y'all got to say. First one, let's make sure, comes up from David6750. He says, I honestly don't think we will ever see the Panthers go to the Super Bowl again. Not for at least another 20 years or so. It sucks. I wish it wasn't true, but it's the truth. I hard disagree. Just due to the fact that, one, the NFL is ever changing. Seasons are ever changing. You don't even know who's going to the Super Bowl next year, let alone the next 20. And to already write us off for the next 20 years, what do you think we are? The Cleveland Browns? Like we ain't never been that atrocious, man, to where we don't make a Super Bowl for 20 years. So I hard disagree personally. And I've never been one to just count my teams out for 20 years or so. It'd be different if you said the next 5. I could agree with that. Or not even agree with that. I could see it. If you said the next 5, I could understand why you say that. But the next 20 or never, that's not truth, man. That's just, I think that's the negativity setting in because of the way we've been the last 5 to 6 years. I think that's what it is. It's been a rough patch. I get it. But to say we're not going to make it for at least 20 or never, respectfully, I disagree, dog. But you're entitled to your opinion. Not going to sit there and say nothing. Next comes from King of Kush 5220. He says, I feel like the play calling is holding back the team. Normally does pretty good on the first drive, which is supposedly scripted plays, but after that, it seems to fade away. We need to stretch the field throwing deep to open the run game. It's not all Bryce's fault. I 100% agree with that, and I think when it comes to the play call, it's like when certain situations pop up, it seems like Canales isn't prepared for said situation. Or he'll run one play that's getting blown up constantly, but keep running that play. And I'm like, you might need to open up the playbook and try something different. And there are certain times people say, oh, it's not the play calling. Bro, go back and look at the whole game. And you'll look at certain situations where certain play calls just don't make sense. They don't make sense. And you can't sit there and blame Bryce when the play calling itself just doesn't make sense. Unless y'all are trying to blame Bryce and say he should have checked into something else. That's why I feel like people who hate Bryce and say it's not the play call, I feel like that's where they're coming from. It's saying, well, if he doesn't like the play or if the play doesn't make sense, he should have just checked into it. Checked into something else. All right. It's like he doesn't check into something else. The play gets blown up. That's Bryce's fault. He checks into something else, and that play gets blown up. It's Bryce's fault. So he's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. You see what I'm saying? So I can see how the play caller, it does seem to, like, get really weird after that first drive. And then lastly, comes from Aviation 7531 says, I don't know if it's just me, but the NFL needs to consider bringing it up to like a 55 to 57 man roster. You would expect with the additional week and the Thursday Night Football quick turnaround that they'd have made that adjustment already. I agree with you. Personally, I want a 60-man roster. Personally, I never understood the significance of it being 53. To me, that was always a weird number. I want a 60-man roster. Even 60 across the board, I think that's a perfect spot for me. I know I said it earlier in the offseason. Some people were like, yo, that's way too much. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Especially if you spread that out across every position. It's like, that's genuinely, if you spread it across offense, defense, and special teams, that's 3 on offense, 3 on defense, 3 on special teams. 7 extra players right there. That's it. It's not as many people as you would think if you spread it out evenly. So I agree with that, and I think it should be a 60-man team, 60-man roster personally. But that's all I have for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified of when these videos are dropping next. Comment below and let me know, what are your thoughts on the injury reports going into this weekend? And 2, how do you feel Nick Scordon has played so far in his rookie season? Do you think he's done well? Do you think he's done average? Do you think he's done bad? And lastly, choose one. Would you rather? Which offense would you rather have paired with our current defense? The 2015 offense or the 2003 offense? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you want more content from me and different content from me, you can follow me on my personal page at Tornado McRae on YouTube. I actually do have a Stranger Things video going up today that I'm planning on posting. So if you want to be hip to that, you can go ahead and see that video there. But guys, at the end of the day, with all that being said, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all you Panther Nation. Take care. Later days as always. Keep pounding. Have a great weekend. And also, I will have a game review going up on this personal page on the weekend as I do every Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. Peace.